Welcome back to Black Clover Anime Review, episode number 52. This we're reviewing the 102nd episode of the anime, Two Miracles, and the 221st chapter of the manga, The Blue Rose Confession. This episode itself is adapted, the episode Two Miracles, adapted from chapter 159, covering the first 7 pages. Well, there is a reason for that. Because a majority of this episode is pretty much a clip show. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Starts off with Asta and Yuno arriving after they come off that big ride they came off from last week's episode. And they're about to take on the Purple Ochre guy. And then we flash back to, like, right after, like, pretty much we get sort of a recap of some of the stuff that happened in the course of the series. Like, we see, like, pretty much almost every arc that the series has put out so far since the opening arc of the anime. Like they brought up the bull hunting expedition, which that was the first arc. Then they bring up the dungeon exploration. Surprising, he didn't bring that up. I'm like, really? Okay. Yeah, there's no mention of it at all, which is kind of weird. I mentioned a little bit of the Royal Capital Star arc, Seabed Temple, Witch's Forest. They went a little bit into hot springs. Yeah, and it's just basically everybody's reaction. Now, when it comes to Witch's Forest, apparently by the time of this particular thing happening, like after what happened at Seabed Temple, it's revealed because of all the letters they've been receiving throughout the course of the series that apparently Asta stopped writing for a while, and then after Witch's Forest, he'd written basically a list equivalent to, let's say, about the length of my bedroom. Yeah, that long of a letter, plus some money. Yeah, because it was revealed in a filler episode of the series, episode 13. Asta's been donating some of his money he earned as a black knight, as a magical knight, to this orphanage, and because of that, they dug a well. Yeah, they were basically able to be perfectly fine, a lot better than they were before. And then we cut back to present day. We have Asta and Yuno take on the guy briefly, like slicing up some of the. Apparently, this guy, this elf possessed Purple Ochre, and not only been poisoning people, he's also been killing them with vines. He's been stabbing them. I'm like, wow, it's like he's going way overkill with this particular guy. So, Asta basically sees that the father of this particular church that the orphanage is, it's like, you can take over me. It's like, sure, I'll basically figure out you. So Asta uses his big sword to tap him, like lightly tap his temple, does nothing. And apparently the father wakes up and sees how far he's grown, and look like he's gonna die. It's like, no, I can't give up yet. And then his grimoire opens up by itself, and then the sword he got in the previous episode, the skinny sword, a little bit different one because his other sword, which is basically a thinner version of his big bulky one, that was taken by Lasat in the previous episode. Actually, was taken in a couple episodes back. And in the case of this episode, he just takes it out, grabs it, and then looks like goes his Black Asta mode, and that's where the episode ends. Like, wow, that's something. This is kind of weird though, the fact they do another clip show. I mean, the last known one they did was just after the Witch's Forest arc wrapped up. Yeah, that was quite something. It was, yeah, it was just after, yeah, it was just after the Royal Knights, it was just after Witch's wrapped up, they actually did a clip show. I think it was like, because it's been like not that long. Let's see, the last time officially they did do a basically a clip show was back in episode 66. So effectively put, it's been like 46 episodes since the last known clip show. The first one it did was like episode 28.5. That was the first one because it was a recap episode. Yeah, but at least this time they actually. But when they show the Witch's Forest, when they had the arrow battle they had from the episode that particular arc, the animation in this episode looks a heck of a lot better than it did in the original episode. The original episode looked terrible. My personal guess is that the people who made this particular episode, they must have looked at that particular footage. Yeah, this looks like crap. Let's just reuse. Let's just basically do what we did for the 100th episode of the series. Let's use that style of animation and not use the garbage we used for that particular one. So yeah, they made the arrow stuff a lot better in this one from that. Though this was the second time that they actually did the arrow stuff. This time was the first one they did the arrow better. This is the second time in the 100th episode. Yep. And that's pretty much the episode in and of itself. It's a good episode. But it looks like next week they're gonna cover like several stuff. Looks like they're gonna probably finish up this and cover like a few other things. hmm That looks like next week. I hope they don't leave off this as a cliffhanger. I hope they don't. Well, they don't come back this for a couple. I hope they don't do that. That'd be kind of stupid if they do that. Okay, chapter starts off with Charlotte just sitting atop a rooftop, just crying. Of course, you have a flashback to when she pretty much how she first met Yami, how she fell first in love with him. And then we cut back to the Blue Knight headquarters, where she calls the squad together and confesses, like she needs to talk about something. She confesses that she likes Yami. Like what? Try to these feelings, trying to forget them, but you're hopeless. Sis. And she probably think her squad hate her. And apparently her squad loves it. Yeah, that's fantastic. So we cheer for you, huh? Beauty and Beast couple. A grand romance. I actually got a boyfriend too. Okay. Apparently they have no problem at all. It says, and they also say something like, you should ask him on a date. First, you show your great affection to give him no shoe. Absolutely, he'll think you like you. You'll be fine, Cap. There's no man you couldn't get at the restaurant. The view who's like what? They're good at romance. They're all good at romance stuff, huh? Tell him. She's like so embarrassed. I'll tell him I like you. I'll tell him. He's like, sis. It's so funny. And then all of a sudden, Yami and Asta and Nero show up. Okay, what are you doing? Of course, Charlotte's like so embarrassed. Of course they all force are like, asking her to Yami, hey, what you got mother and stuff for? Huh? I make you uncomfortable, don't I? That does make it okay to run away screaming. You whom I said sorry, right? You know, it's for quite a while. How much you hate me can't afford to hear me out for a minute too. You're wrong, Captain Yummy. I don't think she's gonna come around you. Nobody else you're pitying, Mr. Suspended Sentence. Oh, that's funny. Because, well, he got basically exiled. The Blue Knight's Captain's Key feels like Noel's. It doesn't, she doesn't, isn't this like she trusts you. The more she trusts you, the harder for her to tell things straight out. If people like that. So you just flat out declared Noble trusts you. Isn't that embarrassing? Not at all. We're comrades. You get sorts of lives dangerous together. Seriously, no, it's not honest about what she feels. Listen, even the Bruce Kevin is embarrassed to her to say anything goes to, and she's just patting her back. And then you have Soul just, why do you why are you touching sis like your friend's short stuff? I think it's so funny the fact she'll probably strangle him. And Charlotte says, we've both been blessed with good brigade members, haven't we? Nah, I think it's a good. Your name was Asta, wasn't it? They told me what's happening. I'm sorry. You'll be you would be this mess if our bodies have taken over. No, it's not your fault at all. Yeah, I mean, you say what I talk about. I discuss over dinner. Yeah, sure. Okay. So apparently he says he does know how he feels about him. Yeah. So what is this about? So what is this about my rose curse? Yeah. What else is there? Of course, she explains that it begins a spell cast by cursed mage who had a grudge against my family. However, its effect was unlike any spell in the kingdom. It was impossible to break. Forbidden magic interferes with your life and your world. The curse activated was 18 and changed shape of my life to imagine myself. All possibility of forbidden magic curse that you in the world? That's what I figured. I don't know. I hope it more now. The forbidden curse in that way. Let's remember Gay who has infected more strangely than I have. And it looks like there's some ruins. And apparently it looks like that we see that oh my gosh. The captain of the coral peacocks is awake. Well, if it isn't the youngest Silva girl. Did Nozel send you here? Yes, I come to tell you, ask you to tell me about my mother and the devils. Okay. Quite a hilarious and interesting chapter. I like the fact that we're developing this relationship between Yami and Charlotte. Yeah, I like it. It's a relationship I did want to see for some time, and we're developing it, which is awesome. And interesting though that Noelle is going to the captain of the Coral Peacocks ask about her mother. I would now Meliona, the one who's Melion was the captain of the Crimson Lions. She told her enough. I mean, the only person you probably could ask about her. I mean, she could ask her brothers, but her brothers don't want to talk about her at all. Okay, she gets that. Going to the captain of the Peacocks, that's interesting. I would have thought she would have contacted somebody. I'm interested. I'm interested exactly what she's going to be telling her. And in the case of the whole stuff with Charlotte having a brief conversation with Asta, this is the first time they've ever spoke to each other, but not the first time they've seen each other. They've actually seen her a couple times in the series. The first time was during the Royal Knights exam. The Magical Knights exam at the start of the series. It was the first time they saw each other. Asta never saw this woman again until I believe when she showed up. She showed up a couple more times after this. She saw her again during the Royal Capital Knights, the Royal Capital arc, and then you saw her again a couple other times after that, but never spoke to each other. Also, I'm a Knight's Son, and recently in the Hot Springs training arc. Yeah, but they've never spoken to each other. Well, at least Asta knows who she is, which she recognized by her magic, which at least got praised for that. Mm-hmm. And apparently using Ki, something that Yami taught him in the Seabed Temple arc, which is interesting. I like it. That he uses to determine that she's not lying about what she's saying, and the fact she does trust Yami. Okay. Interesting enough. So something that Asta was taught, quite useful. Mm-hmm. And I would love to see. Now, I don't think that Charlotte is going to develop an attraction to Asta. No, her thing is for Yami, not for Asta. I think that they might get along as friends probably in the future. But I wouldn't mind at all if these just become close friends. Despite the fact she's like roughly like 10 years older than he is. Yeah, I think she's like in her mid 20s, I'd say. Mm-hmm. This overall was a really good chapter, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to come next. Though the next one's going to come out Friday. That's when the next chapter's coming out. Which is just in 3 days. Alright? Yep, so that's it for Circle 2, and that's it for videos today. Tomorrow, let's see, I think I have roughly about 2 videos planned for tomorrow. Basically, 7 Deadly Sins, newest chapter. I know there should be a new chapter coming out tomorrow. And probably about a couple videos for Cardcaptor Sakura and probably a Comic Corner, maybe, okay? But do the next few. Bye.